That is video from inside a newsroom in Japan after a 7.1 magnitude earthquake struck overnight. Look at all that shaking. This happened on Kyushu Island, the southernmost of the country's main islands.
Initial reports suggest damages to bridges, rail lines, and roads, while Japanese broadcaster HHK reported at least 12 collapsed houses. Tsunami advisories were issued with a government warning of waves up to 1 meter high, but those warnings were lifted within 2 hours. Any remnants of high water not expected to reach our coast. But a lot of shaking there.
Wow.
A lot of damage, too. Thanks for joining us here at 6 a.m. on this Tuesday. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Netta Irampour. Let's start here with your forecast now with meteorologist Evan Narani with that potential for some relief.
We'll take whatever relief we can get.
An itsy-bitsy cool down.
Itsy-bitsy, okay.
Yeah. Today, tomorrow, and Thursday, temperatures will slide back closer to normal. We'll be within about 5 degrees of normal as opposed to 10 degrees above normal. So we've seen a heat advisory and extreme heat warning both expire. There are no longer any heat-related alerts in effect across San Diego County. We're still expected to jump to the upper 70s, though, this afternoon. Upper 80s inland, 91 for the mountains, and 111 across our deserts. Yesterday morning when we woke up, we saw many temperatures, especially by the coast, in the 70s. Today we're in the upper 60s. We're not too far off, but just shows that we've already started to slide by just a few degrees. So that's going to be a saving grace. I think it will be noticeable. The thing is, humidity sticks, and we already have sights of another heat wave on the way that'll be coming toward the end of the week. We'll have more details on that heat wave starting up on Thursday and Friday, coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Well, today, postal workers across the country will be coming together for a day of action.
Several rallies will be held, including one in Barrio Logan. News 8's Chris Groh live here in studio to explain why the post office there will soon be closing. Chris, what's going on?
It will be, and those who utilize that will have to go ahead and try to use 2 other locations we'll get to in a little bit. But as for this day of action, it's being organized by the American Postal Workers Union across the nation, and they are voicing support for a number of different tenets, and let's go through them right now. They are pushing for what they describe as a strong public postal service that would help to secure vote by mail. They're also pushing for new leadership at the Postal Service that they feel serves every community. Now, locally, that rally will be at the Barrio Logan location, but it's mostly to voice pushback to the closure of that post office. It is set to close August 7th. The USPS says it's because the lease expired and it forced their hand. However, the union claims the post office didn't even try to find a new location. They also claim this is the first of many closures we could see without a new location added. The rally will be held today in a little bit less than 5 hours now at 11 a.m. at that Barrio Logan post office. It'll go for 2 hours till 1 p.m. You can see the info right here on your screen. As for an impact by the closure, the U.S. Postal Service says that the National City and Encanto locations will absorb the service lost by that Barrio location closing. We'll send things back to you now.
Chris, thank you so much. And now this morning, city leaders are still dealing with backlash following the closure of more than a dozen restrooms in Mission Bay Park.
Now, one city council member has an idea to fund them. News 8's Tori Apodaca live in Mission Bay Park to explain why not everyone's on board with this idea here. Tori.
Hi, good morning. That's right. People have been telling us that they have really been seeing the consequences of this decision, claiming that they've been finding urine stains on the ground, saying that people are just doing their business out in the open now. San Diego City Council, though, did unanimously approve to close 13 of the 28 Mission Bay Park bathrooms. Activists, beachgoers, locals, people have been outraged about this for weeks now. Earlier this month, though, Councilman Raul Campillo backpedaled on his decision, sending a memo to Mayor Todd Gloria to reopen them. He says the 13 bathrooms are saving about $540,000 throughout the entire year. But he thought the decision was going to go to voters on the November ballot, which would have cost about $1.8 million to print the ballots and then send out flyers. Now that they didn't spend that money, Councilman Campillo says that it makes sense to just keep the bathrooms open because it's costing less than a third of the amount they would have if it had gone to voters. That, and he is also seeing the aftermath of their decision.
Mayor and City Council have been making bad decision after bad decision. They're so used to making bad decisions, they're in the habit of making bad decisions.
We're seeing people go to the bathroom in the grass, behind the trees, behind the bushes, going right here on the brick wall when no one's looking. And that is dangerous, it's dirty, and it means people aren't going to want to come here.
And meanwhile, Mayor Todd Gloria has responded to Councilman Campillo, saying that there is currently no funding for this fiscal year to reopen the 13 bathrooms. Reporting live from Mission Bay Park this morning, Tori Apodaca, News 8.
Tori, thank you. This morning, lifeguards are reminding people that cliff diving is illegal. A 19-year-old was hurt after a jump at Sunset Cliffs over the weekend, and it was caught on video. It's tough to watch, but we're told the young man survived and is expected to be okay. This video shows the teen hitting the rocks hard. Again, San Diego Fire Rescue telling us he is okay. A number of people jumped in to help him before lifeguards responded and brought him to safety. Lifeguards tell us parents of minors can be fined if their child is caught doing this. Rough conditions continue all along California's coast. This is new video from Santa Cruz showing a lifeguard battling powerful waves to rescue a boy who got swept out. You can see bystanders try to help the lifeguard, but they also get battered. Eventually, a second lifeguard comes in to help complete the rescue. A lifeguard supervisor for Santa Cruz State Parks saying that while they appreciate beachgoers trying to help, it often can create more problems.
Just more people for them to have to focus on or think about. A beach hazard statement still in effect in San Diego. Strong rip currents and elevated surf making conditions especially dangerous. Lifeguards, get this, reporting 107 rescues. That was at Wind and Sea on Sunday. So that one beach. Surf will range from 3 to 6 feet, some sets reaching 7 feet, especially along south and southwest facing beaches. The National Weather Service says this will be upgraded to a high surf advisory after 5 p.m. tomorrow. Bigger waves coming due to Hurricane Genevieve. As an El Nino continues to develop right now, this morning we're getting a look at how NOAA measures these weather patterns. As Monica Woods reports, there is one area in the ocean that gets a lot of attention.
The region is called Nino 3.4. Forecasters monitor sea surface temperature there because changes in this part of the ocean can influence weather patterns around the world. If temperatures in Nino 3.4 stay more than 0.5 degrees Celsius above normal for 5 consecutive overlapping 3-month periods relative to the tropical ocean average, the event is classified as El Nino. If those temperatures stay 0.5 degrees below normal for the same length of time, it's classified as La Nina. And if conditions don't meet either threshold, the Pacific is considered to be in a neutral phase. NOAA also takes into consideration thunderstorm development, shifts in tropical rainfall, and trade winds to confirm the climate pattern.
Okay, trying to a small bit of understanding there on El Nino. Coming up at 7 on the CBS 8 app, a look at how El Nino impacts hurricane season.
All right, let's take a look outside here today. Here a little bit cooler, but may not feel with that humidity, right?
Humidity stays a major factor in the forecast while temperatures slide a few degrees from where they were. We are no longer under any heat-related alerts, no heat advisory, no extreme heat warning, but we are still going to be warmer than average this afternoon. We just won't be 10 degrees warmer than average. We'll be closer to about 5 degrees warmer than average. Live look outside out of Mount Laguna shows a beautiful start to the morning. You can make out just a few clouds out there. This is our east-facing sunrise view that took place just a few minutes ago. 6 a.m. sunrise. Remember, that is getting later and later, and that sunset earlier and earlier at 7:50 now. We're losing day length as we make our way through the next several months. Today's high temperatures are going to be a few degrees warmer than average, about 3 degrees above average in San Diego and Ramona, 4 degrees above average in Borrego Springs. Again, the reason why we have above average temperatures, but we've lost our heat-related alerts is because for those heat-related alerts to be in effect, we have to have a pretty decent margin of above average temperatures. We have to be closer to about 10 degrees warmer than average. We're going to get back to that range by this weekend. Saturday in particular, expected to be very warm. One thing helping to send some warm ocean water our way is Hurricane Genevieve, the third named storm in just the last 10 days or so. It's running parallel to the Baja Peninsula, curving out west, and as it does so, it will move farther and farther away from us. No potential to make any landfall, but currently a Category 4 hurricane with 140-mile-per-hour winds around the eye wall, helping to send not only that warm ocean water our way, but high surf as well. So we've got a coastal flood advisory, and in fact, keep in mind, this is just one of the 3 surf-related alerts in play. Coastal flood advisory, beach hazard statement, and high surf advisory. High surf related to Genevieve, coastal flood advisory related to our tides, possibility of some minor tidal overflow. 3 to 6 foot waves out there, still a possibility. As we get to the end of the week, going into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll have this extreme heat warning take effect. But again, for now, it is not in effect. It will take effect, though, in just a couple of days. All right, let's take a look at what's going on as far as traffic goes. So far this morning, we have been watching a couple main spots on the map. One of them earlier was causing pretty decent backups, plenty of red all the way down to about the 56 from Carmel Valley. This is still in play. Speeds are no longer down to about 10 or so miles per hour, but there is still this accident blocking the left lane in Carmel Valley on the 5 northbound right after Carmel Valley Road. Stop and go traffic back to the 56 has now started to dissipate, it looks like, but you will likely still see this pushed over to the right-hand shoulder on the 5 northbound this morning. Let's take a look at your border wait times. It is 6:11 on the clock right now, and it's an 80-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry. Going to take you about an hour 20 total. Otay Mesa Port of Entry will run you about an hour 30. It's a 90-minute wait overall. Ned and Eric.
Thank you so much, Evan. Still had new information on who was involved in the mass shooting in Seattle.
Plus, one of the candidates for California governor appears to be shifting his message for voters, and why a plane had to land on the sand at a Southern California beach.